Hello, my viewers. I welcome you again to another presentation. I remain myself, Charles Chaman, Esquire, a property lawyer and a passionate one. I'm always dedicated to walking you through in all that you need to know about real estate transactions in Nigeria. Are you a property developer? Are you a landlord? Are you a tenant? My video is specially made for you. Once you're interested in doing real estate business, my channel is specially made for you. And today, my topics today is going to be very insightful to landlords, tenants, property managers, and all stakeholders in property business. And what is the topic for today? Topic: dispute resolution in property management. For some time now, I've been walking you through all you need to know about property management in Nigeria. And today, I want to talk to you about the dispute resolution in the property management. If you are watching me for the first time, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get video presentation wherever I drop it. And also click on the notification bell. You'll get notification once a video is being posted online. And don't forget to like the video if you feel good with it, and share this video to anyone that you feel that is interested or is handling a property business. It's going to help the person. Sharing it is very important because it's part of the thing. It's a pro bono service whereby I try to educate my audience out there who are finding it difficult and in handling some of issues concerning property or real estate practice. Dispute resolution in property management is very essential in maintaining a very good relationship between the landlords, the tenants, and as well as the property manager, even other stakeholders. So common disputes you see in property management are rent payments, default in rent payment, maintenances, who to maintain this or who to maintain that, lease valuation, so lease agreements. Some people will go against that. Then security deposits. Some of the deposit people will not like to pay security deposit, and if they pay, they will end up spoiling things. They will not leave the house in such a way. So property damage. So sometimes when people want to leave the house, they will not leave the house in a good state. Or when somebody moves into the house, you just be using the house as if it's not a responsible person. So all these things are common disputes you see in property management. So resolving this dispute efficiently can prevent legal complications and as well as financial loss. Note that going to court is always not the best. And the landlord will waste money, tenant will waste money, and at the end of the day, you people will still come back to square one. Then why not find a way to adjust and make things very easy so that you will not just go and be having issue with the landlord. So please take note of that. It's very important that we mitigate all this risk of exposing ourselves to unnecessary disputes. And one of the best way to do that is having a good tenant, profiling your tenants from the beginning. You make sure you profile your tenants, know where the person is coming from, why is he leaving the former place and why is he coming to your place, all this. And then tenant as well, find out the landlord. Who is the landlord? What does the landlord do? Where is he staying there? Somehow, there are some landlords that are very troublesome. There are some tenants that are very bad. So all these things, if you don't manage them well, and once you're a property manager, you must know all these things. That conducting a proper due diligence will help you to mitigate this risk, because there are a lot of financial loss, especially when you start going to court. At the end of the day, the tenant will discharge, and you start filing for garnishee proceeding to recover your money. So please take note of that. Now, what are the methods of dispute resolution? You have so many things you may think of when it comes to dispute, how to resolve issues. There's what is called alternative dispute resolution mechanism, ADR. So when it comes to ADR, is the best for you to resolve your issue without going to court. It's a non-adjudicating method where nobody is judging you or trying to impose. So because when you go to court, is an adjudicating method whereby independent person, a judge, a magistrate will come there and give order and you must obey. So why not explore the alternative dispute resolution? There are so many of them there. Number one is negotiation. The major way to solve issues is to negotiate that. You see, in terms of debt recovery, in terms of rent recovery, in terms of any issue, landlord and tenant, the best is negotiation. That's the number one approach. You must approach this. The first step, which involves a direct communication between the parties, you, landlord and tenant, one-on-one, without a third party. That's one thing about negotiation. You don't have another party involved there. So property manager can mediate discussion between landlord and tenant as well. It's very important that you know that to find a mutual beneficial solution is very important. So anybody, an experienced mediator can be engaged to mediate also on and negotiate. So negotiation is very important, and that mediation is also part of it. So another process is mediation, where you have a neutral third party facilitating the discussion to make them to reach a voluntary agreement. So mediation is often less expensive and faster than legal action. It's very important that you look into mediation. When you try the first one, which is negotiation, one-on-one negotiation or with someone negotiating on your behalf, as a property manager can negotiate on behalf of the tenant, and tenant can negotiate through their legal counsel. As well, if it doesn't work, then you resort to mediation, where you have a neutral third party to look into the matter and make both of you to reach a mutual ground. Then another method is arbitration. Arbitration is another mechanism where a private dispute resolution process involving a third party called arbitrator who makes a binding decision for both of them. The third party will listen to this person, listen to the another person, and look into it and give a decision on that. And that decision is binding on them, and they were going to sign a document called arbitrary award. It's very important. Arbitration is commonly included in agreements, like tenancy agreements. It's always a way of resolving conflict in a very easy way. So every tenancy agreement notes that it's very essential that it has a dispute resolution mechanism there, where it will resort to negotiation, mediation, or arbitration before you will now go to traditional court for litigation. So if you try all this method and it doesn't work, then the next one is litigation. That's when both of you will now decide to go and settle it in court. But note that when you go to court, you come back, you can never be friends again. That's one thing with litigation, and that contrary to that of alternative dispute resolution. So please take note of that. Disputes cannot be resolved through other means except litigation. When it gets to that point, you know that it's the last resort. And it takes time. So you need to know all these things. So resorting to litigation is only if you don't have choice, because it's not cost-friendly. It's not time-friendly. You to take your time, you take your energy. At the end of the day, sometimes you may even end up abandoning the case. Something that you could have just negotiated within yourself from the beginning. So please take note of that. It is very important that you know all this. And then the best practice for dispute resolution prevention. Now, clear lease agreement will solve this problem. Most of us don't define our terms in our lease agreements. It's very important that you define the terms regarding the rents, renew of the rents, then the expiration of the rent, if it's a fixed tenancy or if it's a periodic tenancy, then maintenances, whose responsibility is to maintain this or that. You need to define that. Then covenant of renew, all these things, you need to know all these things. The covenant of use, what you use the property for. Is it for commercial? Is it for residential? Is it for misuse? All these things you need to know all these things. So dispute resolution procedure is always the thing that you see whenever you don't have a clear terms in your agreement. Then another thing that causes this problem, even if you define your terms well, is lack of regular and effective communication. You need to maintain, as a property manager, as a landlord, as a tenant, for you to reduce this risk of having issues within yourself, you need to have an open communication, open and transparent communication between yourself, between landlord and tenants, between property manager and the tenant, between even property manager and landlord, because sometimes property managers and landlord may even have disputes and they end up going to court. So please note all this in there. Must be a proper communication and regular one. So if any issue like this, communicate. Don't just hold it until you get out of hand. It's a problem that always arises in the property management. So please take note of that. The next is property documentation. Proper documentation, keeping record of all lease agreements, maintenance requests, and dispute-related communications. You need to maintain a database as a property manager, or as a landlord, or even as a tenant. What you are paying and when you are paying, you need to maintain record. So that documentation, when your rent will expire. Some people don't know how to calculate rent. They will calculate it 13 months. They will enter January and they say it's expiring by January. Who told you that? It will expire by December. If you enter January 1st, it's not going to expire by January 31st. It's going to expire by December 31st. So sometimes they don't know all these things and they end up making mistakes, end up making arguments over issues. And you need to document all these things. And as well as a property manager, you need to document and give your landlord the principal information about the progress of all the things you have been doing so far. So please take note of that. Proper recording and documentation of all that has been transpired in the process of property management is very essential to maintain tranquility and peace in the place of property management. So the next is tenant education. So many tenants are just so ignorant. So informing tenants about their rights and responsibilities will help to minimize conflict. Sometimes this one is one of the things that used to wake me. Tenants will call in the midnight and they were asking me questions sometimes through the online presence. You see, sometimes this video we are doing here now is just to make people to be well informed, for you to know what is your right and what is your obligation. You need to know your obligation. What are your rights and what are your obligations? You need to know so that you know when it's being infringed upon. A tenant does not know that he has rights for peaceful possession, use and occupation of the demised premises without the landlord's interference. The landlord does not have right to just enter into your apartment at any time. He must give you notice. If you are living in a self-compound, you cannot enter your compound without notice to you. Note all those things. As a tenant, you need to be educated. You need to know your rights. You need to know that landlord cannot resort to self-help by trying to force you to pay rent or to move out of the house by disconnecting your right of usage. All those things. You need to know those things. You have the right to maintain your demised premises. So you need to know this. Sometimes tenants will think that the landlord has the obligation to come and be servicing their internal facilities. No. You can only do the external facilities. You need to know all this. You need to be well informed. You need to know that landlord has the right to increase rent at any time, on any amount, provided that is not stated on the tenancy agreement. That's why tenancy agreement is your power, is your key. It is where you state all the terms and conditions. Don't make mistake to enter a property without having tenancy agreement. But sometimes it might not be favorable to you because landlord will take advantage of that as well. It is at the advantage of the landlord to prepare tenancy agreement because the presumption of law will not come to play. Where there is no tenancy agreement, the presumption of law will come to play. All the provisions in the tenancy law of the state will apply. But once you have your terms and conditions well stated, the presumption of law will not come to play. So please note all these things. So if you have any question concerning landlord and tenants issue, property management, do so. You can drop your comment on the comment section. We will respond to you. And if you have any issue concerning property, real estate practice, whether it's concerning property management, whether about landlord and tenant, do so by dropping their comment on the comment section. And my number is always available there. You can reach out to me and ask any question. And if you want to read more about this content and the similar ones, you can visit our website at www.chamanlawfirm.com. When you visit that, you will see so many of our articles that we have placed there to educate the audience. So please, I thank you for watching, and don't make mistake, don't resort to server, know your rights. If you are watching for the first time, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to get notification once I drop a video. And also, don't forget to share this video. Continue to share it to any platform, any real estate platform you belong, and it's specially made for those in practice of real estate brokerage, real estate management, real estate development, as well as landlords, homeowners, tenants as well. So this video is specially made for you. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I'll see you too in my next video. Bye for now.